Well, hey there, American Farmsteaders. This is Jenny with the Gramstead Family Farm.
And Donna with Hazel Bell Farm.
And we are coming to y'all from Northeast Florida as two farmsteaders doing our best to grow our own food and share our homesteading experiences with you in hopes that you would grow a little bit of food of your own.
Yep, and this week we are at Scrubfest 2 at Scrubland Farmz Nursery in Fort McCoy, Florida. Really cool place, super cool permaculture kind of nursery.
Yeah.
A lot of perennial edible things, and their Scrubfest event went on, and we went and broadcast from there. So you're going to hear that.
Yes, the second annual Scrubfest. So we went the first year. It was amazing. Got all kinds of cool plants from the nursery. Mm-hmm. This year, I was a little bit more refrained in the nursery.
We both were.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if you are looking to build any type of food forest, or you just want to add some perennials to your homestead and you're in the central-ish North Florida area, Scrubland Farmz is definitely a place that you'll want to check out.
Yeah. So check out this episode. There's going to be some background noise, some wind, it's a festival.
It's a festival.
It was a good time had by all, and but there's a lot of good information in here.
Yeah. So we hope y'all enjoy this episode. So y'all stay tuned.
As Jenny said in our open, we just want to encourage people to grow food. And we've been saying that over and over again.
That's what we've been saying all day.
People come see us and we're like, we just want you to grow food.
They're like, what do you do? We just want you to grow food. That's all.
Yeah.
That's why we do what we do.
Yeah. So we are listening to speakers today. The first one was, tell me her name, Jenny, Deborah.
Her name was Deborah Curry.
Yeah. And she is a Florida native plant specialist.
Yes.
And really encourages people to preserve the native grasses and plants and trees and diversify, like have a good diversity of those things.
Yeah.
On your property.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. She was actually introduced by David the Good because she bought his original Florida food forest that he had built.
Yeah,
so
pretty cool.
That would be super cool to own that.
Yeah. She kind of joked about having to eradicate some of the non-native species. He did too, though, to be fair.
Yeah.
So really, really neat. Really neat talk. And then the next one was Shanna Alverson.
Yeah, she's actually still up there talking. She has a ton of information.
Yes.
She is like totally nerding out on all the sciencey stuff up there.
Yeah, so Shanna is food over pharma.
Yeah, very knowledgeable.
Very knowledgeable, yeah. And so people are furiously taking notes.
Yeah.
What's good, what's not good.
Yeah, I was too, because she started her talk off with, what is it about the grocery store food that's making us sick?
Right.
Because that is a direct cause of a lot of the illness that people suffer from in our country specifically.
Yeah, a lot of the chronic stuff, a lot of the autoimmune stuff, a lot of the inflammatory associated diseases can be largely controlled, if not eliminated, by diet. And, she talks a lot about how what they're feeding us is slowly but surely killing us.
Right, and she correlated it to, I'm going to make sure I don't butcher this, to how the food that's making us sick is preventing us from making energy, and we have to make energy and use energy in order to be healthy.
Right.
So if we're not making it and able to use it because we're sick, we're just going to stay sick.
Right. Yeah, and I really like the paradigm or the parallel that she connects, that like the microbiome in our gut is equivalent to the microbiome in the soil that we're growing in.
Yeah.
Right? It's the same.
Yeah.
It really is the same.
Yeah. Sorry about if y'all hear any wind noise, we're sorry. It's super windy out here today.
It's going to be a fun edit. We'll get it though.
Yeah. So, yeah, and I love when she said that the body is basically built out of the food that we eat.
Yeah, she said something. I want to quote her on this, and I think it was, what you are eating is going to become you.
Yeah, the food we eat becomes you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's so true.
Yeah, so what are you eating?
Well, this morning I had a banana.
Okay.
And then I had some pretzel chips and I had some hummus. So the culprit in that would probably be the pretzel chips because they are probably full of what she referred to as PUFAs.
Right. If you're not familiar with PUFAs, that would be PUFA, and that's polyunsaturated fat. I don't know what the A is. I can't remember.
I don't remember.
I don't remember. Anyways, it's those seed oils that
Yes,
we are
grapeseed,
trying to
cottonseed,
avoid.
sunflower
Canola
seed,
oil,
canola, safflower. There was a lot of them on the list. She really recommended if you're going to go oil, you want to go organic, virgin, cold press, olive oil, but to make sure that it's actually 100% olive oil, because she said
Right.
there's a lot of blends out on the market.
She talked about making sure you do your good research for that. But above that,
Yes, the good news.
My favorite thing that she said today was the very best thing that you could consume is butter.
Yes.
Cook in butter. And the better the butter, the better for you. So a grass-fed butter is going to be your best option.
Right. So what a good note to end on about food over pharma, that the best thing to cook with is grass-fed butter.
Give it to me.
And then she kind of tagged on beef tallow.
Yeah, beef tallow, lard, and what else did she say? I think she just generally said animal fats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I love because I just rendered a bunch of beef tallow. So,
Nice.
yep.
Very nice.
Yeah, so I think after Shanna talks, we're going to have, I think up next is maybe Elise Pickett. She is a Central Florida food forest gardener. She has an amazing food forest on a very small patch of land and is growing a ton of food.
I'm super excited to hear her for our listeners. I want our listeners to plug into that
Yeah.
because a lot of our listeners are on a smaller piece of land.
Yeah.
And so she really shows off what you are able to do in a small space, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so I think that we've got her talk coming up next. So we are going to go sit in on that because I definitely don't want to miss that.
Right.
And then we'll be back with y'all to talk about Elise's talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, we are back here at Scrubfest 2, and we are talking with Elise Pickett, and she's one of the speakers here this afternoon. And hi, Elise.
Hi. How's it going?
Good, good. Tell us what you do.
So I have been teaching people how to grow food for 10 years now here in Florida.
Wow.
And I live in St. Pete, which is a small or densely populated city. And I live on a small urban lot, and I've just been trying to lead by example and show people that even in a small space, even in a city, we can grow a lot of our own food. And so I teach organic and sustainable practices so that people can care for their property and their plants and their self-sufficiency and resiliency on their own.
Love it.
Yeah, that is awesome.
Awesome. Yeah. Yeah. So what kind of stuff do you grow? Is it mostly perennial? Do you sprinkle in annual stuff? Is it all of it? What do
I
you
do a lot of both. I do a lot of both. I think that annuals have their place for like high turnover, high production, and just like stuff
Yeah.
we're very familiar with,
Fast
right?
food, right.
So things that are approachable and especially if you're just getting started in gardening, I definitely have a lot of perennials and a lot of like quote unquote weird things
plants.
that I grow
Yeah.
and I readily consume. But I also understand that if you're just starting to grow your own food, sometimes it's not as comfortable or familiar for folks. So
Yeah.
I definitely give examples of both, and I try to. I teach from my homestead through my YouTube channel and in-person classes and online classes and everything like that. But I want to show people that no matter what space you have, you can grow food. So I do vertical container gardening where I'm trying to maximize every square inch, and then I expand into the city lot and mix in, perennials into my annuals, and I so that it's scalable for everybody to just realize that there is that potential.
Yeah, so if you have been a listener of our podcast for any amount of time, you have heard us talk about this term that we have coined, the yardsteader. And we have a very good friend, Sarah, who kind of came about with that term. And Sarah is an awesome yard steader. Elise, I think, is probably the ultimate yard steader.
Yard setting queen.
I have seen some of your YouTube videos, and your yard is amazing.
Thank
you.
you.
I mean, like you've got the front yard going on, you got the backyard going on, and you're literally growing food everywhere.
Yep, every square inch, pretty much. Yep, that's me. I have a 5,600 square foot lot in the middle of a built-out neighborhood, in the middle of a built-out city on a built-out peninsula. So I have a mix. When I first purchased the property that I'm currently on, we've only been there 5 years. And when we first moved,
Dang.
when we first moved in, there were 6 plant species on the property, including the grass. And we are over 100 now. In 5 years' time, we have, I think it's 30-something fruit trees on the property, annual vegetable garden beds, all sorts of perennial vegetables. We do have chickens, and I always joke, like I even have a RV parking pad for my sister and brother-in-law are full-time RVers, so we're their winter stay. So I'm not even utilizing the 5,600 square feet. You know, it's still my house. It's kind of sort of their house,
right?
And all of the food. We haven't purchased leafy greens in 3 or 4 years now. We produce it all on site. We meet a lot of our needs, all our herbs, a lot of our fruit, that kind of thing, all our squash. You can fit a lot. And I think that's kind of, you had asked about the perennials versus annuals. Annuals absolutely take a lot more work.
Mm-hmm.
There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
But if done well and planned appropriately, they can also produce a lot of food.
Yes.
And so I do think that there should probably be a blend of the two because of the sheer production that you get out of annual vegetables.
Yeah, and that's stuff that you can essentially put up.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like annuals are a good for the new grower, like an instant gratification thing too.
Yeah, you get it 30 days later. You get to harvest that radish and start picking the lettuce.
Right.
Yeah.
Whereas some of the perennials can be a little weird for the new grower, and I think kind of scares people off sometimes.
Yes.
So.
I definitely teach on both. I really emphasize both, and I think perennials have a huge niche to play for when we have our slip ups, or the seasons aren't what we want, or life got busy and we forgot to plant our starts or whatever.
Right.
Like those perennials
You
play
still
a key
have
role.
those.
You can always rely on them, and there's
Right.
always something to harvest and eat. I just did, like, I think it's a post. I think it's tomorrow or today or something like that. But it's what to do about the in-between season, right? So like we're in Florida, we're planting out our fall garden.
Yeah,
you
we're at
ripped
the
out your
in-between.
summer garden. What's happening in between? Your perennials are, right? Like there doesn't have to be a slowdown in production or harvesting when you have a mix of both.
There's always
Right.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. What's the weirdest thing that you grow?
Oh, I don't know. I guess it depends on your definition of weird.
I think your growing zone is a little different than ours up here, but
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm on the border of 9B, 10A. So
Okay.
I'm right on the cusp of Central and South Florida.
Okay.
I do have experience growing across the state, though. And I don't know. Let's see. Weird. I have, for my annual vegetables, a lot of people give me like the raised eyebrow for Chinese python snake bean.
Oh.
It's a squash alternative. It looks like a giant python snake. It's like this curly Q vine. The flowers are just so fragrant and beautiful. But it's a delicious squash substitute. I do this for a living, but I'm also like a mom and
Right.
Yeah.
life.
It's gotta be
and
for real.
It's got to be
Right. Like essentially
really
you're feeding your family.
carefree. I don't have a lot of time to spend in the garden, and
Yeah.
so that is squash or a pain in the butt here.
Yeah.
And you can grow it. It's achievable, but it takes a lot more patience and effort than I'm willing to give it.
Yeah.
And so I just find substitutes. I'm all about substitutions. So that's a wonderful substitute that doesn't need my care.
Cool.
And still produces me something that's like squash.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about Seminole pumpkins. That was my substitute for squash. It was like, you know what, that's just way too high maintenance for me. But the Seminole pumpkins, they just took off.
Take off, yeah.
You know?
Do their thing.
And the nice thing about those, you were talking about putting away, like you can grow your year's supply worth of Seminole
Absolutely.
pumpkin, put it in the pantry. They don't even need like refrigeration or canning or anything. You
Right.
just pop them in there.
Put them in the pantry.
Yep, and then they're there for the year
Yeah.
until the next season starts producing.
Yeah. So what's your favorite ground cover for Florida?
Ooh, that's a good one. Are we talking edibles or? I actually have a video all on, I think it was 10 that I picked, although there's more, of my favorite ground covers. So I have an entire video on that. But I get a lot of comments in my front yardstead.
Your
yardstead.
I love the yard.
I have one that can maintain foot traffic. So it's a mix of sunshine mimosa and perennial peanuts because both of them can stand light foot traffic.
Nice.
And they're feeding my plants. And it's a no mow, no water, no fertilized lawn.
Right.
And it has beautiful flowers. So it's just kind of like a blend. It's not edible though.
Right. Yeah.
But it checks like every other
Livestock
box.
like it though.
Yeah. See, I need the good solution for the ground cover for where I'm trying to put in a grocery row garden. I started that last year, and I was so big on tarping my whole entire garden in between plantings. I threw all the grocery row stuff in there, and it was like, wait, I can't tarp it. What am I gonna do?
Yeah, grass is overcoming or competing with grass is a challenge for sure.
Yes.
I'm a big fan of sheet
Biggest
mulching,
challenge.
like especially if you're just focusing your efforts in one space or like one row or a couple
Right.
of rows. Just doing the sheet mulching with like either a cardboard or some sort of like water permeable barrier between the grass and
Right.
the mulch, and then bringing in, depending on how long you let it compost or whatever, bringing in a little bit of compost and soil, some chicken, cow, duck, whatever you got,
Right.
and mixing that in and growing
Right.
there, because then you get to suppress the grass and not compete. I don't weed. I sheet mulched front to back on my yard. I haven't had it. I mean, there's like wind blown, like my neighbor's grass creeps in a little. I do have to like pick that out every once in a while, but I haven't had to weed anything in 3.5, 4 years.
That is amazing.
It is amazing.
I am super
have a
jealous.
horrible grass issue throughout my garden right now. It's horrible.
Yeah,
Like,
summertime it always is. It just like engulfs everything.
yeah, it does for sure.
Yeah, that's where my tarps come in. Just cover it, ignore it, walk away from it.
Wow. So tell us the name of your YouTube channel and how people can find you.
So it's The Urban Harvest. And when I first started out 10 years ago, I didn't do great research. There's an urban harvest without the in Texas
Okay.
that helps immigrant families connect with their food, which is super awesome.
That's cool.
But I'm The Urban Harvest. And that's my
Urban Harvest.
website, on social media and YouTube and all that stuff. It's all the same, The Urban Harvest.
The Urban Harvest.
Yeah.
Very good.
Y'all check her out. She's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, we are so glad that we got to grab a couple minutes of your time today before you do your talk, which we are super anxious to hear. So, yeah, thanks for chatting with us.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, this is fun.
Yeah. All right, well, we are back with y'all. We just got done listening to Elise Pickett from the Urban Harvest give her hour-long talk.
It went longer than an hour because she did like a 30-minute Q&A.
Yeah, like she was up there forever with her Q&A. She hung in there.
Yeah, she's my favorite speaker so far.
You know what? She has been my favorite so far, too. Only because I really feel like it was just the most applicable.
Exactly the words I was going to say. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was real stuff that people can start utilizing right now, no matter where you are and what kind of space you have to grow in.
Yeah, and her overall theme really hits what we like to tell people is to, just plant and grow everywhere. Grow as much as you can. Just do what you can with what you have.
Yeah, and that was her first point for growing in a small space is grow everywhere.
Yeah.
If you have a front yard, but you're in an HOA and you can't necessarily grow like a vegetable garden in your front yard, well, she mentioned growing support plants in your front yard,
Right.
Pollinators or
Nitrogen fixers.
something that you can
use for like a chop and drop.
Yeah, stuff that you can use for fertilizer for the fruit trees that you have in the backyard. So she also really touched on growing in shady areas, which can be tricky.
Very tricky.
Very tricky. What was she saying that she's growing in shape? Oh,
The
ginger,
root
turmeric.
Yeah.
And what was the third one? It was a really strange name, and she even spelt it, but I had never even heard of it. Something.
Like that. I'm
You're
sorry.
close.
I know. I'm not.
We're bad.
Not
Sorry,
close
y'all.
enough.
So yeah, growing everywhere, trying to utilize all the space that you have if you're growing in a small space.
Right. So some tips she gave.
Yeah.
Some practical tips she gave to do that. Start with layering your structure, right?
Right. She talked about really thinking about the structure of the plants that you're putting in the ground. And when you think about the structure of the plant, you're thinking, how does it grow above ground?
Right.
How is it growing underground?
Right.
You know, how deep is that root system going compared to something else? Or does it have a shallow root system and it's not going to go very deep?
Right.
So she talked about, you know, densely planting areas and utilizing the structure of the plant to kind of formulate what you're going to put into a small space. So instead of growing just one tomato plant in a 2.5 foot space, which would be traditional tomato plant spacing, tomato plant is going to grow really tall, and it's going to have roots that go down deep.
Right.
I mean, there has been some tomato plants that I have pulled out that the roots are like 4 and 5 feet long.
Right.
You know, they're huge. And so that root system is tapping into a layer of soil that most plants are not tapping into.
Yeah.
So, you know, you can take that 2.5 foot of space. Again, y'all, we're at a festival.
Yeah. It's happy.
It's very happy out here. So you can take that 2.5 foot of space and that tomato plant, and say, for instance, you could grow a carrot with it.
Right.
Okay, so that's going to be beneficial because, one, the carrot, yes, it's growing down, but it's not going to grow as deep as a tomato. And it's also going to help break up that soil for the tomato roots to move through that soil a little bit easier.
Right.
You know, and then if you wanted to throw a third thing in there, you know, you can think about some type of a leafy green that's going to grow good that time of year, because those are going to have a root system that's going to be very shallow.
Right.
So they're just not even tapping into the same layers of soil, so
Right.
they're not even competing for nutrients.
Yeah, she also talked about using that carrot again. She talked about maximizing your space that way, you know, and having not just a row of carrots, but, you know, carrots take quite a bit of time to come up. We've talked about that a lot in the past.
Right.
And so while you're waiting for those to really come up and grow,
Right.
that you can go ahead and throw down a faster growing something like a radish and right alongside those carrots. And by the time those radishes are ready to come out for harvest, your carrots are just starting to come in. And so that's just a way to really utilize your space.
Right. To
Maximum efficiency.
2 crops in one space.
Right. Yeah.
Now, all that being said, if you're gonna do that and you're gonna, plant really densely like that in a small area instead of going traditional, you really got to make sure that you're planting stuff in top-notch soil.
Right. So it's super intense that way. So you're gonna have to water more,
Yeah.
and you're gonna have to have super heavy nutrients. Going in.
Yeah, you're going to have pretty nutrient-dense soil, and, you're going to have to water more, but at the same time, when you're planting something low around something that grows high, you're really sheltering that soil too.
Right.
Which really helps retain water at the same time.
Yeah, it's not constantly exposed to the sun.
Yeah. And that really goes with any garden. Like, you can't just throw all that stuff in a pile of sand.
No, I'm thinking about my garden right now.
like at Donna's sandhill.
Right. No, you got to take care of it. You have to amend it. You have to add organic matter and feed it and feed the soil and build upon it.
Yes.
Like we're always talking about, and water. And she talked about mulch too. All of those things work together to use your space the best.
Yeah, and making compost. She talked about hot composting. that she utilizes a lot in her small space. So
Right, because that's what she has room for. She doesn't have room to have a static pile sit for the whole year.
right,
You
so
know?
she's doing a hot compost pile, which is 3 by 3, 3 square feet by 3 cubic feet,
Right.
by 3 cubic feet.
Yes, yes.
And getting it nice and hot with some chicken manure
Uh-huh.
and cooking it up and putting it on your garden so you can get it in use.
Yeah, doing the job of turning it and all of that, yeah.
Yeah. Another thing that she talked about, not only is she planting densely, but anytime she has the opportunity to grow up, she is growing up.
Yeah, so she talked a lot about vertical growing, and she used the example of, her neighbor has the plastic privacy fence.
Right.
Beautiful, right?
Right.
But they have an old, in her words, crappy chain link fence on their side, and when the new fence went up for the neighbors, her husband tried to tear down the old fence, and she's
Right.
like, that's trellis right there.
Hey, that's valuable.
Yeah, so she grows up along the fence, because without that, what could she have? A couple of fruit trees, maybe. I mean, depending on what the
Depending
shade is
upon the
like.
spaces,
Yeah. So she's using the structures that are there, using what she has again to be able to grow the most amount of food possible.
Yeah. That was another one of her key points. Just her and her family love squash, but squash in Florida, as many of us know, and not only just in Florida, but in a lot of places.
Yeah, the southeast.
Yeah, southeast. It can be a pain in the rear to grow.
Right.
With the fungus and the bugs.
The mildew.
And so instead of spending a bunch of time struggling, trying to make this plant work in her climate and trying to make this grow in her climate with her limited amount of time, she found something as a substitute.
She mentioned that when she came out.
She did, yeah.
And it's a bean, something python snake.
It's like some
bean,
python snake
but
dragon
it's a squash.
bean, but it's squash.
So I asked her if she has the seeds. She said she does sell the seeds. She thinks she's sold out this season, though.
Okay.
So we'll have to keep our eye on that for next year.
Yeah, I really want to go to her website now and check out her website and
really
see
do.
what she has for seeds. Yeah. So again, y'all, she is at the Urban Harvest. Her name is Elise Pickett. I found her on YouTube, and she's got some just incredibly informative YouTube videos.
She's super knowledgeable.
She is one smart chick.
Yeah, definitely.
And she knows how to grow some food. So I'm really glad that we got a chance to grab her and talk to her for a minute. That was fun.
Yeah, that was fun.
And so we've got a couple more hours left here to go. They're doing a big break right now, so we've got some time to maybe stroll through the nursery again if we want to. So we'll be back in a little bit, y'all.
All right, well, we are back. We just heard David the Good's first speech today, his first talk.
Yep.
He gave on what we should be growing in Florida.
Yeah, Florida gardening.
Yeah, Florida gardening. So I like how at the beginning he asked who's recently moved here.
I heard him ask that,
Same.
but I wasn't looking, and so I didn't see how many people raised their hands.
I didn't either. I was finishing up in the nursery, so I didn't either. But I just thought it was an appropriate opening because if you've been here for a minute,
Yeah.
you know you've heard how back where I'm from we grow it like this, and Florida is not like that.
Florida is totally different. I really feel like we have our own set of rules here when it comes to gardening.
Yeah.
Because, like he said, the weather can just be abusive.
Mm-hmm. It's harsh.
It is. It's harsh. So he really wanted to, I think, kind of focus his talk on being smart in that you're growing for this climate.
He also talked about know your reason for growing. Are you
what's
growing
the point? Are you a prepper?
Right, are you a prepper? Do you just want to supplement? Do you have an allergy issue? Why are you growing?
Right. Yeah. Are you feeding your family? Do you just want to, maybe supplement the groceries a little bit, And so that'll kind of give you your focus on, okay, how much food do we actually need to grow here? And what are we going to grow?
Right.
So he talked specifically about growing for the climate here in Florida.
Right.
As we know, some things are just hard to grow here.
Yeah.
Like cucumbers.
And other squashes.
Yeah, and other squashes.
We talked about with the leaves
Right.
earlier, right?
Right. And so some things are just hard here. So, can we grow them? Can we push it? Absolutely we can. But I think you have to consider, like, how much time and how much effort are you willing to put into this?
Right.
And you absolutely can do it. We've done it. But you can consider, okay, maybe I should just really strictly grow some stuff that is Florida specific and lighten the load a little bit.
Yeah, so some Florida native things, but also some things that grow similar to our latitude around the world, or to our climate. It's hot, it's muggy,
right?
And he mentioned you can look at some Mediterranean things, but you kind of have to be choosy because it's a little drier there,
right?
But some of those things kind of overlap to work really, really well. He talked about growing for calories.
Yeah,
if that's your goal.
Yeah, I feel like every time I hear him talk, he talks a lot about growing for calories. Like, yeah, we can grow a ton of hot peppers, but is that really going to sustain us?
Right, it's flavor.
We're not going to live on hot peppers.
Yeah, it's flavor, it's a little bit of vitamins and that kind of thing. But for calories, he loves to push cassava.
Yes, cassava. And I personally have never grown cassava.
Right.
I haven't really felt the need to grow cassava.
Me neither.
One, it's a really big dig when you do have to dig up that plant, which is fine, but I don't know. To me, it just seems like a lot of work.
And it also has to be boiled.
It has to be boiled because it actually has cyanide in it.
Right.
But I know that, from what he says, there's people all the way around the world that basically live off of this. And I know that I've heard him say more than 5 times that his family eats it all the time.
Yeah, and he also mentioned how filling it is. So, like, if you're looking for something that's going to hold you, it's super filling.
Real starchy, like a potato. Kind of hard to peel, though, too. I was watching a harvest video on it. You really have to, like, peel back that skin, and
it's hard and thick.
I think it's a really great, like, survival crop, but maybe not an everyday crop for me anyways.
Right. It's not something I'm going to push on my weekly menu plan.
No, I don't think so either. But nonetheless, a great survival crop full of calories. I see the benefit in it. But for me, I'm going more with his second choice, which is sweet potatoes.
Same, and I think maybe that's why I don't feel the need to seek out something like cassava.
Right.
Or even true yams is another one that he talks about. But sweet potatoes is something that just grows super easy here. You just basically throw them in the ground and leave them alone,
Right, and then once you get them going, you can basically have free sweet potatoes forever.
Right, yeah. You can continue the cycle every year of growing slips off of potatoes that you harvested and replanting every year, or you can leave some in the ground and they will produce new slips.
Yeah. I actually have an area in my garden where I had my sweet potatoes. My sheep went through and ate them all down, and I was frustrated with the garden and needed some weed control, so I let them in there. But a lot of my sweet potatoes have grown back, so I think I'm still going to get a really good harvest. But I have one particular area. It's probably only like the size of a softball, but there is a cluster of sweet potato slips growing just out of this softball-sized patch.
Nice.
There's like a ton of them.
Good.
So I'm waiting for them to get a little bit taller and hoping to be able to maybe harvest some slips. I mean,
right.
Can I keep them alive until spring? I mean, what's the deal with that?
I can't answer that for you. You could. I mean, yeah, you could. You could put them in some containers. You could root them first in water if you wanted.
Or I wonder if I could just leave them in the ground. I wonder if those slips would...
That's what I would do.
I wonder if those slips would come back in the spring.
Well, those will die with the frost.
Right.
But what's underneath will produce new slips
more
in the spring.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably what I would do.
That would probably be the easiest thing to do.
Yeah.
No, I think he told me, and I don't
So David the Good talks about planting for ease also. And so, like we want big beefsteak tomatoes, but that's a hard thing for us to grow here in our climate.
It is.
Can it be done? Again, absolutely. Can you do enough to put up on the shelf? Absolutely. Is it easy?
No. Tomatoes are a lot of work.
Yeah, they really are a labor of love. So one thing he recommends is the Everglades tomato.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's a little cherry tomato.
It is. They're super tiny.
Yeah, they are super tiny, but they are easy, and
Yeah.
they're super good.
Pest free, and if you get some of them going in a certain area, they will come back. They will volunteer year after year, and they're really good.
And you'll always have food.
Always have food.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
delicious.
Yeah. Okay. So another thing he talked about for calories is Seminole pumpkins. Super prolific.
And easy to grow.
Very easy to grow, and very easy to grow enough for the year to like put up on the shelf.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, and like you literally don't even have to do anything to them. It's like throw them in the pantry and you're good.
And they'll last a long
They
time.
last a really long time. I still have a Seminole pumpkin in my pantry from not this past spring, but the spring before.
2 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's totally fine.
Yeah.
I should probably go ahead and cook it.
You
but
should, because you need the seeds for next
do.
year.
I
You do.
I do. So let's see here. He talked about okra. Okra is
yeah.
another one that just,
Yes.
it grows prolifically. It loves the heat.
It's easy.
It's easy.
It's super easy here. It doesn't need a whole lot of nutrition. Although if you feed it more and water it more, you'll get a bigger plant and a better harvest. But even in like really poor sand soil, it'll produce for you.
Yeah.
So anything else in that marshmallow family, like Roselle, he also
Yeah.
talked about a good one to have.
Which I love. I mean, I will grow it every single year.
I said that 2 years ago, and we still haven't replanted. I did this year a little bit, but we had the issues with the rabbits. So
Right. Yeah, Roselle is just super prolific, and you can do so much with it, and
Yeah.
it's so fun.
yeah,
You know?
and it's beautiful.
It is beautiful. It's one of those things that you grow that like it was really like it's joyful to have in the garden, especially this time of year because literally it's the only thing that I'm harvesting in the garden right now,
Sure,
other than like oregano.
right? Herbs, herby things.
Yeah. So another one he touched on. He said black-eyed peas specifically. So really any type of southern cow peas,
Zipper peas,
zipper pea. Yeah.
green peas. Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. Because not only can you get a harvest off of those, a very prolific harvest off of those, you can also use those as nitrogen fixers and chop and drop to help build your soil.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Longevity spinach. That was one of the nutrient dense recommendations he had because obviously you don't want to just grow for
I'm
calories.
not living on spinach. It's not gonna fill me.
Right.
Right.
Not going to fill you. You know, and you need more nutrients than, you know, what a potato is going to give you. So that was one of his recommendations. Is that the type of spinach that we started for our plant cell?
No, I don't think so. Maybe, actually. Well, you asked me that, and my mind went to what I planted in my garden. Maybe we did longevity spinach. It was your seeds.
Now I remember. It was actually, was it Galilee?
Yes, it was.
And it was thorny.
And it looks like a cross.
Yes. Yes, it looks like a thorny cross.
Yeah, it
Which I
is.
thought was super cool.
It is, and they look beautiful.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean that was about the gist of his first talk.
Yep, so he has another talk coming up that we're going to hear about the Florida food forest, growing the grocery rows. You know,
Grocery
that's
row
kind
garden.
of his niche, his thing, and
Little different than the food forest.
right.
It's kind of a mix between food forest and row cropping.
And yeah, adding in your annuals, your vegetables. Yeah.
And I do love the idea. I just wasn't super great at the execution.
Right. Well, I mean,
Maybe it's a work in progress.
I think a lot of it, it's like growing anything else or any other style. It's trial and error. It's finding what works for you, and you know, and that's something else that David the Good talks about a lot of times in, you know, on his YouTube channel, on his blog. We've heard him in speeches where he says like you've got to pick and choose what works for you. You know, you don't have to be a part of the only do it this way or my way or whatever, and pick
Right.
and choose what works from the grocery row, and pick and choose what works from the no-till,
Exactly.
and what works, you know, from row cropping and market gardening, and put it all together and make your own little mishmash of your garden. You know?
Exactly, because we're all in different climates. We all have different amounts of times. We all have
And
different
needs.
reasons for growing.
Right.
And basically just not to get hung up on any one particular method or hung up on a stumbling block that's keeping you from growing food.
So many choices.
You know, the point is grow food.
Grow food. Right. That's what we're doing.
That's what we're doing.
So how many times have we said that today? Just encouraging people to grow some food.
Yeah, that's it. So we're going to hang out here for a little bit longer.
Yeah.
And wait for the grocery row gardening talk to happen. And that's the last talk of the day.
Yeah.
Well, all right, y'all. If y'all are still here, thanks for hanging out with us today. It was an amazing day out at Scrubfest.
It was a fun day.
It was a fun day. Man, it was a long day, and it was just jam-packed full of good gardening info.
Yeah. So once again, y'all check out Sam over at Scrubland Farmz in Fort McCoy. I think that he got better this year at this event than last year, and
Yeah.
I look forward to years to come. I hope it's something that they do annually.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to going back next year.
Me too.
So we will be back in 2 weeks with another episode for y'all.
Yep, we're going to take off next week. In the meantime, we hope you check out our brand new launched website, AmericanFarmsteadHers.com.
Yes.
We have started some blog posts for you there to help encourage you to grow some more food.
Yep.
All right. Thanks for listening.
See y'all.
Bye.